What's going on, guys? Jesse Summers here, and welcome to the very first video on my channel. Super excited that you are here, and today we are going to discuss something very important within the process of buying your home, okay? Actually, within the first two videos, we are going to discuss things that I go over with clients within our initial consultation. So today we're going to talk about the transaction timeline, the process of buying a home. And in the second video, we're going to talk about the money you need to have on hand to purchase a home. Okay? So today is going to be the 5 steps to buying a home. In the next video that's actually already up on my channel, you can find the link down below in the description. That is going to be the 5 checks you are going to write during a real estate transaction. But today we're talking about the 5 steps, so let's dive on in. So, the 5 steps of buying a home. What is step number 1? Step 1 is get a loan. Our number 1 suggestion when you start being interested in buying a home is to speak with a lender. What is a lender going to do? Well, they determine how much money they're going to give you to go and buy a home. And a lender is going to look at 2 things. A lender is going to look at your credit score, and they're going to look at your debt to income ratio. Ideally, you want to have at least a 660 to 680 credit score, and your debt to income ratio needs to be 50% or less. No more than 50% of your income should be taken up by debt per month. Okay? So, credit score and debt to income ratio are going to be the 2 things that lenders look at. And once they establish your credit history and look at all of the numbers, they are going to be able to pre-approve you for a number, a total, a certain amount. All right? And once you have that pre-approval letter in hand, you can start looking for homes. And really, the reason you can't really start looking until then is because you need to know the max price point that you can go to, what you can afford. When you got your pre-approval, what we're going to do together is that we're going to set up a search. So step 2 is finding the home. And to find the home, what we're going to do is we are going to set up a search. And within that search, we're going to talk about everything from how many bedrooms and bathrooms you need to what type of home you like and where you want to live. So we'll set the search up, and we'll be notified every time new homes come onto the market that fit within our search. And from there, we can start going and seeing homes, right? Start touring homes together. And one day, you're going to come across the home that you've been looking for, and we are going to write an offer to the seller. And this offer is saying what we are offering on the home, all right? And when they accept our offer, we are now under contract. So that's step 3. Step 3 is under contract. What does under contract even mean? Well, that means that the seller has accepted your offer and cannot entertain other offers. Even if someone says, I'll pay $5,000 more than what they offered, too late. The seller's accepted your offer and they cannot walk away from this deal. Okay? You can as the buyer, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later, but the seller can't walk away. They can't entertain other offers. They are stuck with you. All right? So, that's step 3, going under contract. And within under contract, you're going to go into the due diligence period. Now, let me say this first. Once you're under contract, that starts essentially the transaction timeline, which is about 30 to 45 days. The first 3 weeks of that 30 to 45 days is going to be what we call the due diligence period. Now, within the due diligence period, you're going to do 3 things. The first thing you're going to do is have your inspections done. You're going to get a general home inspection, and from there we may establish things that need a little bit more attention, and so you may get some more specific inspections done, like a roof inspection or an HVAC inspection. The second thing that we're going to do is that we're going to come to an agreement with the seller about the things that they are going to fix. All right? So you've got your inspections, you've identified some things that you like to address, and now we have to come to an agreement about the seller as to whether or not they're going to address those things and or provide money for them. So they can do either. And then the third thing that we're going to do within the due diligence period is we're going to get our appraisal done. Okay? The appraisal is ordered by the bank and paid for by you. And the appraisal is how the bank determines the value of this home and ultimately how much money they're gonna give you. So when the appraisal gets done, forget the fact that you were pre-approved for $250,000. Whatever this home appraises at is what the bank is going to give you, okay? And I'll make another video getting into the specifics of an appraisal and what can and can't happen during that time and what the outcome may be. But know that that's the third thing that you're gonna get done within the due diligence period. The inspections, we're gonna come to an agreement with the seller about the things they're gonna repair or provide money for. And finally, you're gonna get your appraisal done during that due diligence period. So, to quickly recap halfway through, the first thing you're gonna do is get a loan. The second thing we're gonna do is find the home. And the third step is going under contract. Step 4 is what I call coasting to closing, okay? And really, this is the week and a half leading up to closing day. And during this time, the things that the seller agreed to fix, they're gonna start to fix. Side note, if they are going to provide you with money, that will be provided at closing, okay? You're gonna finalize some things with the closing attorney, you're gonna finalize some things with the lender, but within the coasting to closing phase, we are also going to schedule your final walkthrough. Okay, and the final walkthrough is so that we can walk through the house one last time to be sure that it looks the way we expect it to look. Have they done the repairs appropriately, right? Like they said they would. Have they knocked a hole in the wall by bringing furniture from upstairs to downstairs as they were moving out? Now here's the thing, I always like to schedule that the day of closing, essentially that morning, especially if the sellers are living in the home up until closing. The reason for that is because you want to be sure it looks the way you expect it to look, that they haven't done any damage to the home before we go to the closing table, okay? So step 4 is the coasting to closing phase, and finally step 5 is closing day. The day you've been looking forward to, the day we've been working towards, all right? And here's the thing about closing day. It is so not scary the way people think it's gonna be, right? They think they're gonna be signing thousands of documents, right? But that's really not the case. Honestly, closing can take about 20 to 30 minutes. Now, I always suggest having a couple of hours set aside, if not taking the entire day off, because who wants to go back to work after closing on a home, right? But the point of what I'm trying to say is that I never suggest anyone tries to make it happen on their lunch break, right? Set aside some time to be sure that closing day gets taken care of, right? You're not having to rush through it. So, closing day, once everything is done at the attorney's office, the attorney is then going to go and record the deed. And once the deed is recorded, the home is officially yours. So, hope this was helpful, guys. We're gonna recap here really quickly. Step 1 is get a loan, all right? Step 2 is find the home. Step 3 is under contract. Step 4 is the coasting to closing phase. And then step 5 is closing day. All right? Again, guys, on this channel, I will dive deeper into these topics. I know that this was just a brief overview of the transaction timeline, the 5 steps to buying a home, right? But also follow me on Instagram at @TheJesseSummers. The reason I say that is because I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into content there as well. And if you're following me in both places, you get the max amount of content. So thanks again, guys, for being here, for watching this video. Hope you found this helpful. And like I said, the second video is already on the channel. You can find the link in the description and find out the 5 checks you're going to write during a real estate transaction. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Can't wait to see you soon. Love you.